The BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on totals for the daily, we did hit the top of our channel, and we are seeing a rejection pushing to the bottom. So I would watch the lower time frames very close, as our VWAP is pulling back, momentum is rounding, and money flows in the red. And if we get a red candle tomorrow, we could get a breakdown, which could give us that bearish push. This would not be a very big bearish push because remember, rising channels are just from top to bottom, and it's a very narrow channel, so it might bring us right around that 792. So not the biggest loss overall. That could still set us up for a higher low if we get a higher high compared to here, and here. So we could have a high, a low, then push down for another low, and then hopefully that's where you would continue for another high. Otherwise, if we continue beyond that low, we could have a lower high with a potential lower low if we broke that support level. So over on the 1 hour, we did see that push forward. We did try to wick out. We got a big push forward. Usually when you get a big push forward, you do retrace that. We did overall retrace it over time, but it's not that big of a retracement when you look at this candle back here and where we are right now. Our stochastic does want to push up. VWAP is trying to push forward. Momentum is gaining strength, and the money flow is in the green. Geopolitically, things are kind of calmed down, so it would be expected that we would see a push up. But remember, there are some things like the tariffs are going to go into effect. I believe it's April 2nd, so a couple days away. So we may see the market kind of go into a waiting period, as that is going to start affecting some things. But that has been positive for the U.S. We did post in the Discord how. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did reject that value area high. We do not have a big red candle that's the same size as this green candle, so I would still watch for a bounce forward. There would still be the chance to push up and invalidate any kind of bearish momentum, but remember, we do have a gap below us, and gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill, so there are high chances that we do at least push down to right around 85k and then continue from there. Our stochastic does want to round. RSI is starting to pull back. VWAP is trying to push down. Momentum is pushing up. And the money flow does want to break through. So we do look okay on the daily, providing lower time frames can continue with some strength. Over on the 1 hour, we have some consolidation. We'll show how that bull flag is on Bitcoin, but RSI does want to push up. Stochastic's gaining strength. VWAP is pushing forward, pushing momentum higher with a green dot. So if that VWAP can stay in bullish territory, we will see that momentum continue higher and money flow will remain in the green, which will strengthen higher time frames and give us a chance for those strong green candles. Now, over on Bitcoin for the daily, very similar price action as futures. Remember, futures is just trading at a premium to Bitcoin. We have an indecision candle overall. Stochastic is rounding, momentum's rounding, VWAP is rounding, and money flow is in the bearish territory. But if we look over here at the 1 hour, we did try to kind of wick away from our bear flag scenario, but we have managed to stay in this range. So as long as we don't see lower highs and lower lows from this point, we will be able to push up toward around that 88k, at which point, if we can continue with bullish momentum, I would watch for that breakout, a retest, and a bounce. Remember, that bounce could help push us right around that 92.5k, which is just shy of that major resistance area. Our stochastic is pushing up, VWAP is gaining strength, momentum is pushing up, and the money flow is red. But with that VWAP recovering, we could see that reverse if the VWAP gets higher highs with higher lows from this point. Over on graph for the daily, we have indecision here as well, just rejecting that resistance area. We did stop just shy of it. We said to watch for a push up toward that resistance. VWAP is starting to round, momentum is starting to round, money flow is in the red. So I would exercise caution because remember, that could try to push us lower. We haven't had our MPP active for quite some time, but this could push us lower and push us into some bearish price action. Zooming back in, our MPP does say there is a 50-50 chance of pushing for a lower high and a higher high. So the MPP is not very helpful in this instance, but VWAP is favoring bearish, pushing momentum lower and weakening that money flow. So if that VWAP remains bearish, it's likely we would see that lower high and then continue for some lower lows. Over on XRP for the daily, it does look like our MPP is saying we could push down right around that 216, so we have been warning of that range. That kind of gives you a little bit of confirmation with that. but stochastic is starting to pull back. We have orange above blue, RSI is pulling back, momentum is rounding with a red dot as that VWAP makes a lower low following a lower high, so we don't look too positive here on the daily. I would watch for a continued push to the downside here. So if you haven't gone all in, this may be a decent buying opportunity if you're looking for some sort of downturn, as if you look at the previous several hourly candles, it's just been red, 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 red. So when you have a lot of red or a lot of green, usually you're going to get an opposite move. VWAP does want to push up toward that neutral. Momentum wants to push forward. Stochastic is trying to make a bounce, but RSI is pulling back. So if that VWAP cannot hold above that neutral, it's likely we would see that rejection. But our MPP, our MPP says there's a 72% chance of getting a lower high. So watch out for a rejection of that 242. If we get a rejection there, then that's where we could continue lower. Just to jump over to Bitcoin to see the MPP here, since we just reactivated that. We have our MPP target of 80K on the daily, so not too good. That does look pretty fresh though, so remember when they're fresh, that doesn't mean too much. But over on the 1 hour, there is about a 51% chance of pushing up toward that 90K and seeing that bullish break. So it could go up, could go down right now is what the hourly is saying according to the MPP. Use your caution, use the other analysis. Remember, don't take one indicator and run with it. Thank you for watching tonight. Have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe and join us in the Discord if you haven't already.